So, start off, give us a quick intro of the shop, which is the name and who you two people are.
Well, this store is called Carolina Gold Exchange, and it had its roots in Hillsborough, New Jersey, where we opened up a store on September 11th, 2001, if you can believe that. And we were there for 6 years and then moved to Greenbrook. And that business is still running today. And we decided very recently that we should open up a store in South Carolina.
And who are you?
You want to say something?
Yeah, please. I was waiting on you to finish.
Easy for you.
I'm Kenneth Sass, and I met Victor, and I think we met in 2008.
It was quite a while
Yeah,
back.
we met in like 2008. I was a customer at his coin shop in Greenbrook. We got acquainted. I started learning more and more about the business. Came to learn that it's really more like a real bank, which caught my interest. So I came to the conclusion that I wanted to invest in one at some point. Vic retired and moved down here a few years ago. We talked about doing it, and within the last year we spoke about it and just brought it to life.
How long have both of you been in the gold business?
I've been in the gold business long before I opened up the store in 2001. I would go to shows. In fact, I was a coin collector when I was 9 years old. And prior to 2001, there wasn't a whole lot of interest in gold and silver because it was kind of flat. It was just at the same level, and it didn't go up, it didn't go down, so it was there was not a lot of activity. Back in the day, there was more activity with rare coins and even common collectible coins. Silver and gold really started kicking in when, a few years after the United States Mint started minting gold eagles and silver eagles and that sort of thing. And then, precious metals started climbing, and once that happened, then there was more interest in investing in gold and silver.
For me, I got in. I came a little familiar with it, I'd say in about 2003, 2004. Didn't really understand it, but I first entered it in 2008, right after the original crash of the stock market and the housing market and all that stuff happened. Someone was telling me about how it worked in the opposite of that, which caught my interest. And then I started educating myself on it from about that point. So I say I've been in officially since 2008.
What made you decide to open up your own gold shop, being that there are already gold shops open?
For me, I wanted to do it because I understand now that gold and silver is the real money, which makes these type of places the real bank. So that was my motivation. My main motivation was to be a part of something real and not just what's fabricated and seen as such that's not really that, which is this.
A lot of people that come into the store curious because they don't know anything about, what is this? What's coins? What's precious metals? What do you do? And I give them a little story about how precious metals are an investment, and they don't fully understand and until I explain it this way to them. I said, if you were in my store in 2001 and you had a silver 1 ounce bar in one pocket and $4 in the other pocket. Now, jump 20 years later, you go into your $4 pocket, you still have $4. But in the other pocket, that bar now is over $45.
Sheesh.
then they start to understand.
Wow. There we go. So, how did you two team up? Were you friends, family, or business partners first?
Oh, so, like I said, I got in the game in 2008. Vic had the spot back up in Jersey on 22, Greenbrook Coins. I went in there and started buying, started becoming an investor. And as I was purchasing over the years, we was having a conversation. And honestly, he was educating me. I was educating myself, but he was educating me more extensively within the type of purchases and investments I was making. And it was just forming a relationship. And I got to a point where I spoke to him some years back and told him that eventually I think I wanted to have one. And then that led to us conversating more. And when he came down here, I decided to come down here and get with him and open one here.
Yeah, my plan was to retire when I came down here 3 years ago, but it's in my blood. So I just, when Kenny approached me on the possibility of opening a business down here, I said, let's do it. Our knowledge and experience goes a long way, and we're putting all our efforts into this store to make it impressive and a place where people can come in and learn. If they have some precious metal that they're not sure if it's real or not, we'll test it for them free of charge. Just come on in and learn whatever you can. I'm offering my 40 some odd years experience free of charge. Just come on in and sit down and we'll talk.
To add on to you saying, the efforts you guys are putting into this, what would you say was the biggest challenge in just getting the shop started?
Finding a good location, and not too big. Coin shop, you don't need 10,000 square feet. 1,000, 1,200, 1,400 square feet is more than enough. And those shops, particularly in this area, get gobbled up very quickly because they're affordable and they're small. It's the larger units that could be available for many, many months, sometimes years, because they're expensive because it goes by square footage. So finding a location, and then finding a location that's on a highway. You can't be on some side street. You want traffic. You want to be out there so that as many people see you as possible. So that was the biggest challenge, was finding a good location and a safe location.
For me, honestly, I didn't really feel that anything was challenging. I've become so knowledgeable over the years, and I've been running businesses since 1999. So with all that experience and then the knowledge of what we was actually doing, it made it really easy. Like you said, the hardest part was the part he did. I didn't have a role in, which was finding the location. So once he conquered that, the hard part was done. It was just a matter of putting it together, which we did.
What makes your shop different from the other ones around here?
Probably our extensive inventory. I've been a collector for decades and decades, so I have a lot of inventory that and at my age, I'm offering in the store. And our knowledge. And I've been to all the locations around here, not identifying myself, but other than someone that is a coin collector, not a dealer. And I'm shocked on how unprofessional and the lack of knowledge that these individuals have, and very little inventory. So I think that's where we stand out, and where if somebody walks in the door, I'm not going to try to sell them anything. I'm going to welcome them and give them any kind of information that they need, make them feel comfortable, and that's my main goal, is just to create a friendly environment where people can learn, particularly the young kids, to come in and shake my hand and have fun. It's a fun place.
For me, I think what sets us apart is one, we're talking about money, which is most important to most people, most important to everybody, because we all need it. And we have that ability and the passion to teach you something about it that most people are not aware of. So when you come in and you have low knowledge or even have some knowledge, you're going to leave out with more just off the way we actually operate. So I think that's our biggest advantage. And we got the time, because when you have the passion for something, you got the time for it. We'll take our time with someone who knows very little as much as we would take with someone who knows a lot.
What type of gold or jewelry do you specialize in? Is it chains, custom pieces, investment gold? What would you guys say is your specialization?
Well, we're buyers and sellers, so any jewelry that comes in is tested to make sure of its purity. And if it's something that's nice looking and not broken, we'll clean it up and we'll offer it to the public. So it varies, it changes week to week, month to month. But we're different from like an estate jeweler or a jewelry store, because we're selling the jewelry as precious metals, not jewelry. So it's much less expensive to buy. Of course it's used, but it looks new. And you're not paying jewelry store prices for whether it's silver or gold or platinum jewelry. And someone will come in and say, do you have a bracelet? But they'll need a very large bracelet because you got a big wrist. And I'll say, I don't have one right now, but take my card and call me every week, because it could come in 5 minutes from now. I never know what's going to come in the door. But we always, whatever we have that's nice, we offer to the public at a fraction over just the value of the gold.
For me, the business itself is a specialized business. It's not specific to anything. Once you come in, you'll learn that there's aspects of jewelry. There's your jewelry that you wear. Then there's the investment grade jewelry. So we can speak to that. You can really learn how your jewelry can beat money. These are the type of things that we would take time, just going back to that whole education component that comes with dealing with us. So I just like to say that it's just a specialized business in itself, because the way we, operate.
Yeah, someone going to a jewelry store and buying, a 1 ounce chain or 31 gram chain, they paid so far over the spot market or the gold value that it's not an investment. You come here and you buy the same bracelet or chain, you're wearing an investment and you're enjoying it as well. So it's much different when you can purchase a bracelet or a chain or whatever and know that it's not going to sit in a box like a gold bar. It's something that you can wear, enjoy, and it has value, and it will increase in value as it has over the years. So it's the best of both worlds. That's the way I look at it.
How do you build trust with customers in an industry where authenticity is everything?
Well, we have authenticity is exactly right. Everything that we sell, we test. When someone buys some silver bars or gold bars or rounds or whatever, we have the machines to test it right in front of them. And we offer that service to anyone out there that is not sure. They bought something on eBay or on Amazon or wherever, the flea market. Bring it in, test it. We have all the equipment to make you feel as comfortable as possible that what you have is the real deal.
For me, the authenticity will be proven, and again, it always reverts back to the education and the conversation we have, because when you come in, the one thing I'm going to explain to you and make sure that you understand is that your investment is assured, because you'll be educated on the part of what makes it assured, which is the fact that the money that is utilized and perceived as real money, which is not, it's printed all day, every day. So when you buy from here, your investment is certified. It's not just a statement in saying that it will go up or can go up. It's gonna go up because they can never stop printing. And as long as they print the value into the real money, which makes us authentic by default, because we are the authentic money. It's just not known as such because people are under the notion that paper money, which is fiat currency, is something that is not. It's not money, it's currency. We got the money, it's gold and silver, as the Constitution states.
So we already discussed what the biggest challenge was in getting the shop started. What was the hardest part in getting the shop open?
Just setting it up nice with the glass displays and the racks and making everything flow. So you walk in, it's all fresh. It's everything's laid out and it's all put in order. So someone walks in, if they're looking for a particular type of supply, it's right there. Everything's explained. If you're new to it, you're not sure, well, what is this, what is that? There's an explanation right in the rack explaining what that is and what it's for. So that was the most difficult part was, and when you come into it, when you sign a lease, usually the store is a mess. I mean, we had to lay tile down, we had to paint the walls, we had to do all electrical, we had a security system put in, surveillance. It was just a shell and a nasty shell at that. So it took a good month and a half just prepping this store so that it'll look fresh and clean, and not some sloppy store, which it was before. It was some kind of appliance store in the past. So that was challenging because it was just a lot of work.
Yeah, the most difficult part was what he just spoke to, which was why it was a good combination of coming together with Vic, because it was something that I wouldn't be able to do on my own. I couldn't see it. He had the eye for it with the more experience, having been in this space for so long. So the most difficult part was what he actually conquered, which was bringing it to give it the look that we wanted and set up like he just explained.
What's the first goal you'd like to hit with the shop?
Well, to pretty much break even. I mean, to pay for our expenses. It's not cheap operating a business these days, between the lease, the insurance, utilities, and everything else. It's expensive, and that's the number one goal is pay the bills. Pay all the bills. The prior company that was here, the appliance center, the sheriff threw them out because he was 4 months behind in the rent. But that's what goes on. It's difficult to operate a business. So realistically, just stay afloat. And when you start a business, it doesn't, it'll come in droves when you initially open a business. It takes time to get a good customer base, and that people know that you're there. It just takes a while, so we have to be patient. But paying the bills, would be nice if we can do that on a month-to-month basis. I would be satisfied with that in the beginning. I'm just being very realistic.
For me, the biggest goal would be to get the place established and seen for what it really is, which is a real bank. And people understanding what it actually is when they come here, and the business becoming known for that. And becoming reputable for that, because not only do you come in and make your investment or purchases or whatever, but you also get a good education and further your education in the space. That would be a good goal for me with this.
Where do you see the shop in 5 years?
Time, what? You got it, Vic? You want to go first?
Well, I'll go by my other two stores. The store in 2001. The first year was tough, but again, I never operated a retail coin shop prior to that, so I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what I should have in the store to begin with. So I let the store kind of guide me along. I followed it. When somebody needed this or that, I supplied it, and then I stocked it. My first store, which was smaller than this one, is about 1,000 square feet. The first year and a half was slow, and by the fifth year, I outgrew the store. So then I moved to a 2,000 square foot store in a different town, and that store grew. It pretty much in a couple of years' time tripled in sales because it was established already. I had a 5-year customer base, and that's the thing, is just getting a customer base, people that will come in regularly and tell their friends. So that being said, I'm thinking that we probably will follow that same pattern. By the fifth year, we'll be doing quite well.
Yeah, same for me. In 5 years, I see the store being definitely a staple in this area. Probably much wider than that, the way we're pursuing the internet as well. I also think that we will benefit from the state of the economy, which is inevitably going to have an adverse effect going forward with the amount of debt that's in the system. It's over leveraged. So in 5 years, I see us being more of a commonly known business and commonly business that people are visiting for the reasons that today are not so prominent. I think in 5 years will be much more of the norm, because I think what's going to happen is inevitable. It's not a matter of if but when.
You know, what's something you're putting together for the store? This is where you guys can talk about the seminar.
Well, we plan on having some seminars here. There's enough space in the front for, a dozen or so people. And we want to give grading courses, like grading 101 for people, the young ones who are not familiar at all, and then have some advanced grading seminars. And also, which is really very important these days, is counterfeit detection. Not only coins, which is important, but also precious metals. There's a disturbing statistic that is out there, and it basically says that, and I think this is true in all different kinds of categories of investing, 60% of all precious metals, whether it's silver dimes, quarters, and halves, silver bars, gold eagles, you name it, 60% is not real. But it appears to be real, looks real. We've detected counterfeit carded gold bars that are certified. There's certified rare coins that are fake. So we want to educate the public so that they stop buying this stuff. Counterfeit Morgan silver dollars, it's endless. It really is. It's just as bad as the baseball cards and the autographs. I mean, that is. Thank God I'm not in that business, because there's not machines and devices that could detect, a good signature and a bad autograph. But luckily, unfortunately, there's ways of determining counterfeit precious metals and rare coins.
killed. That market was killed with 3D printing. So
Yeah.
3D printing took that market out. What was that exact question again?
It was just what's something you guys are putting together for the store, and he answered it with the seminars.
Oh yeah, the seminars. I know we're gonna definitely, as we go, enhance the look. As we go, a lot of research and development we're gonna put in for some things that we can kind of bring to the industry as a first-time basis. You know, maybe we're dealing with some AI technology and things like that. We're looking to evolve the space because this is like a older type space, so to speak. Whereas it's not a lot of technology implemented. I think it's a lot of room for growth in that. Don't know what that's going to look like, but that's definitely going to be a part of it because the research and development is going to be there.
Any advice for someone who wants to get into the gold business?
Just educate yourself. Find someone who's been in the business of either investing or selling or whatever, and pick their brain. You know, if you're going to, and that's in any type of business or any kind of investment, you got to do your homework, and you got to know where to go for that homework. And it's you know, it's worse now than it's ever been, and tomorrow will be worse than today when it comes to fake stuff and scams. So that's my advice: is learn from people who've been around.
I don't give advice. I just give suggestions. My suggestion would be to learn what money is. So you can grasp the understanding that debt is not wealth. And once you can learn those two things, it'll make this come full circle to what this actually is. And that'll be an education in itself that'll put you where you need to be.
This is kind of a two-part question. Would you guys say a lot of young people know about gold? Yes or no?
I'd say no, because it's limited in the capacity of jewelry, and I don't think that young people have any idea, for the most part, how much farther it expands from that, and the fact that it's the basis of what real money is. Because you got to remember, what we call money is currency, it's not money. So no, I think that that's not normal.
And Vic, you would agree with that?
Yes.
So, and then to end it off, this is the final question. Why should young people be interested in gold?
Oh, I'll answer it first. Young people, they don't have a choice but to be interested. You know what I'm saying? Because the reality is cash rules everything around us. And what they have been sold and educated on as money is not money. And as time goes on, that will become more and more prevalent and more true. So it's not in the education system. It's not common knowledge. It's not being taught. So they're being essentially enslaved with no knowledge that they are. So it's pivotal. They have no choice. You know, they have to learn. It's just that they don't know what they don't know. So yeah, they gotta know. I mean, they're gonna have to find out, you know, to have any chance in the future. Because at the current time, what they're using for money and actually saving is printed at the rate of like 200,000 a second. So I think if they was commonly educated on the fact that they save what's printed and their purchasing power is constantly killed, they'd understand today why they need this knowledge and information.
All right, Vic, what do you think young people should?
I can't add any more to that.
That's it?
Right on.
All right, and then to end it off, where my notes at? Just say the shop name and location and a closing message to the community. That's about it.
Yeah, well, this is Carolina Gold Exchange. We have 4486 Socastee Boulevard, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Again, it's a huge educational component that comes with doing business here. And you don't even have to come here to make any purchases or make any investments. You can come here just for the knowledge. We got books, and we have the experience that, you know, you can't even get from school at this point. So yeah, it's just a good place to come to get an education that's not really viable or available to you.
Come on down.
Paper blow easy, when take it away. Fiat fade fast like clouds in a day. They print what they want, inflation decay. But my bars don't fold, my stack don't sway. Digital